then he meets Delilah. Okay. So Delilah entices him. She's in the Valley of Sorek. And the Philistines tell her to entice him. And it says like love, but when I looked it up, it's kind of like for a friend type thing. It's like for a friend, kind of like care, not in a way kind of like what like we love. And in a way, it's kind of like it's different type of love, but love, how they would put it. And so they said they would give her 1,100 pieces of silver. And she said, Samson, tell me, I pray thee, wherein the great strength lieth, and where my mightiest be bound to afflict thee. And Samson said unto her, if they bind me with 7 green withs that were never dried, then shall I be weak and be another man. Then the lords of the Philistines brought up to her 7 green withs that had been dried and bound with thee. But anyway, you could go and read all this. And Delilah kept saying, then when she get done, she was like, she'll be like, when she get done, she'll be like, Samson, the Philistines are upon thee. But the point is, she was not lying to him. She always told him the truth. She would ask him a question. He would tell her, and then she would do it. So that ought to let him know that she was doing it for a reason. So Samson was literally thinking with something else. And I'm going to put it out there. He was thinking with something else because Samson literally was arrogant. He was arrogant. He had full of anger. He had all these things that was going on. He was a womanizer. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of things going on with him. You know what I'm saying? And he was thinking, you know what I'm saying? Because Samson was literally picking up women like you go to the grocery store and you can pick up a jug of milk. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I didn't understand like why he was sticking around with her doing all this stuff when he literally can go to the next woman and do it. But he did because why he was thinking what people think with. But anyway, that's another thing. He was literally just like picking up a jug of milk, like boom, boom, boom. That's what you do. Because if it's not her, it was going to be a next woman anyway. And that's the way how it was. Because Samson, believe it or not, Samson had it like that. That's the way how you can literally tell he had it like that. I don't care what nobody say. He had it like that. So he could go literally to the next girl because that's what he was doing. I don't care what nobody say. He was very arrogant, and that appealed to certain people who had certain spirits. And he was picking up those people with certain spirits because that's what he did. And that appealed to them. And he will always, if you look at the type of women that he was picking up, they literally, you could tell they had the same type of spirits. Just like Delilah. Delilah technically was no different than his first wife. They had a little things sort of different, but it was like the manipulation, kind of like, well, you don't love me, or why won't you tell me? It's that type of thing, but it was sort of different. But his first wife didn't go into the degree or the steps that Delilah did. Delilah, technically, I wouldn't say that Delilah told the truth. I'm gonna put that was the difference, but she did manipulate. But again, she told the truth, and it was to gain information. That was, you know what I'm saying? The wife didn't. There's a difference there. So there's a lot of things that you got to look at that is totally different in the spirits and everything that's going on here. And so, and Delilah would literally tell him all these different things, and then she would be like, and this how she says like, thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Tell me where thou mightest bound. And it's the way how she's speaking is kind of like pouty. Like I can't explain. It's kind of like pouty. Like, thou hast mocked me. Thou hast told me lies. It's sort of like that. It's kind of like pouty. Like, why would you do this? Like, and it was kind of like not like she meant it, but it was kind of like to get him to tell her. A manipulation to get him to tell her information, to finally get him to tell her the truth. And like you don't really care, like, you know what I'm saying, like why are you doing this, like you don't really care, like, and all this kind of stuff, like just tell me, and all that kind of stuff, kind of like whiny, in a way, in sort of that thing, like, and but he didn't really. If he would have started thinking, he would have knew what she was doing, but he didn't. He really didn't. Honestly, I don't think he really cared, because a lot of guys that you meet like that, they only think about one thing. And he was thinking, because honestly, she was enticing him in a lot of ways. And I'm gonna put it like that. So he wasn't thinking. Just like when she was laying on him and doing all that, you know what I'm saying, And I mean, like, bother him. It didn't bother him. So just like the first wife, it didn't bother him that she was whining. He took it. I'm just saying, he took it. Instead of him leaving, he took it. So there you go. And so, and it says right here, and it says, and it came to pass when she pressed him daily with her words. That's what I'm saying. He took it. He could have left, but he didn't. He stayed. Now, why did he stay? And urged him so that his soul was vexed unto death, you know, that he told her all of his heart. He told everything. Just blah, 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 blah. He just like came on out with it. And said unto her, there hath not come a razor upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all of his heart, so she knew at that point he wasn't lying. She knew he was telling the truth. Oh, he didn't tell me now. Oh, I got it. So she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, come up this once, for he hath showed me all of his heart. And the lords of the Philistines came up unto her and brought money in their hand. And she made him sleep upon her lap. So she probably gave him some milk and cookies too. Anyway, she made him sleep upon her knees, and she called for a man and caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. So I know it's been preached that she cut it off. She did not. A man shaved off his 7 locks while she made him sleep on her nap, on her knees. The man shaved off his 7 locks, and she began to afflict him. She afflicted him first. Okay, she afflicted him, which afflict is hold on, I wrote it down. It says to defile, deal hardly, with force, hurt, ravish, weaken, humble. This is in Hebrew. Basically, you can look at it Hebrew or different. Just Hebrew. So it's like she afflicts. She did some things to him, and then after that, afflict him, and then his strength left from him. So it wasn't that his locks were shaved off, not cut off, but it was shaved off. She afflicted him. It was first shaven, then afflicted him, then the strength left from him. That's what happened. That's the order of it happening. And then she said, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he woke up out of his sleep and said, I will go out as the other times before and shake myself. And he wist not that the Lord was departed from him. But the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza and bound him with feathers of brass. And he did, and grind in the prison house. So there are steps that what she did. She, on the other hand, she made him sleep upon her knee. She called a man to shave his 7 locks. She began to afflict him. His strength left. She said, the Philistines be upon Samson. Samson awoke out of his sleep and said, I will go out as other times before and shake myself. But the Lord departed from him. The Philistines took him. They put his eyes out, brought him down to Gaza, bound him with feathers of brass, and he was in a prison. And Delilah's attributes was just like and similar to his wife before. That's why I think that he, quote unquote, as they call love, because in some sort of way she reminded him of his wife that was killed prior.